everyone, my name is Caitlin Walker. For this presentation, I will be discussing the open and secret instruments in the United States. Open instruments include war, diplomacy, trade, aid, and reputation. Secret instruments include espionage, counterintelligence, and covert action. War power is the actual or threatened use of overt military force. It is the most extreme and hazardous means for pursuing foreign policy goals. It is used as a last resort after quieter and more peaceful methods have been used, like approaches to diplomacy or covert actions. Regardless of what policy is being dealt with, success is more likely when a country has military power backing it. Like Roosevelt once said, "Speak softly, but carry a big stick." War power is more than a threat, though. Before a policymaker decides to use war, they must go through military strategy and take into account the interplay of operational, which involves the skills of battlefield commanders and war planners, logistical, which is transportation and supply of supplies and things needed to go into war and during war, social and technological considerations such as who has the better weapons. Some governments don't take the threat of war lightly. Some take the bait, so to speak, and instead of backing down, they fight. This could cause serious problems in the world, as it has in the past. Diplomacy is how governments communicate with one another. This is the preferred way of negotiation because it promises no war or loss of lives. It is the most important power a nation has. The United States uses 3 different forms of agreeing to make its negotiations. First is treaty power, which is when the president forms a treaty backed by the advice of the Senate and a 2/3 vote. Second is statutory agreement, where instead of needing a 2/3 vote, it is just based on majority rule in both chambers of Congress. Finally, the third form is executive agreement, where the executive branch does not consent the Senate or the House of Representatives. Trade and aid go hand in hand. According to an economist named Thomas C. Schelling, trade is the most important relationship that most countries have with each other. International trading enhances the economic prosperity for countries and also aids countries in their time of need. International trade can cause an imbalance of commerce, resulting in loss of sales and loss of jobs in domestic manufacturing. When this happens, there is a rise of protectionism, which is a rise in tariffs and quotas against U.S. imports, protecting the U.S. from competitors. Contradicting protectionism is free trade, which removes all tariffs and quotas from international commerce. Moving on to imports and exports, the United States is the largest international trader. Most of America's imports include consumer goods, automobiles, and fuels like petroleum. America's exports include food, chemicals, and machinery. However, in recent years, the United States has imported more food than it has exported. Trade is essential to the future of all countries, so if something were to go wrong in a country like, say, the United States could no longer produce something and other countries have never been able to produce it, so they rely on the United States, the whole entire world would suffer. In many parts of the world, the United States has a reputation, and it is accepted as a leader not only because of its military and its economy, but also because of its reputation and commitment to democracy, freedom, and human rights. While the culture of America is appealing and has the ability to attract the support of other nations, which is known as soft power. Soft power includes moral suasion, the pursuit of high ideals. The idea is to urge or convince other countries to adopt American ideals, but while some are attracted by things like films, the music, the literature, and even sometimes the fast food, others are not, so the results are not always clear. Because of this, most policymakers rely on hard power. Hard power is when military and economic instruments are put into play. Hard power gives better results, and it is more tangible, so for the countries difficult to sway by appeal, it is easier for a policymaker to use military force to get the job done. Espionage is how governments obtain information secretly. It is their first line of defense. This is all done by the CIA. The information the CIA gathers is called intelligence, which to them is defined as knowledge and foreknowledge of the world around us. The first step in intelligence is planning. Which countries need surveillance? Once a plan is made, intelligence is collected and processed before it is distributed to those who make decisions for the United States. If something goes wrong in the planning phase, the whole operation can go south. Counterintelligence is the knowledge needed to protect and preserve the military, the economy, and the productive strength of the United States. People who are a part of counterintelligence gather reliable information about intelligence agencies that pose a threat to the United States. This includes counterespionage, where they find out who has information about something someone is planning to do, and security, which is self-explanatory. Counterintelligence protects the United States from malicious acts or organizations. Covert action is the third line of defense, and it is the quiet option as compared to using military force, and it is much quicker than democracy. It is defined as secret activities conducted by the United States to influence and manipulate events. It is something they do behind closed doors, so to speak, so the public does not find out. There are 4 different types of covert actions: propaganda, along with political, economic, and paramilitary operations. These operations range from opinions in journals to assassination, money bribes, and large-scale secret warfare.